Imagine this. It's just past midnight. You're sitting alone in your home, the lights off, a single candle flickering in front of you. The silence feels heavy, too heavy. Then you hear it, 3 slow, deliberate knocks at your front door. You know you didn't invite anyone. But when you open the door, you're not letting in a person, you're letting in something else. Some call him the Midnight Man. And wherever this ritual surfaces, people go missing. Background. According to fragments of old pagan texts, the Midnight Man was not originally part of a game at all. He was part of a ritual punishment system. Those who broke sacred laws were forced to endure a night of terror, stalked by an unseen figure. If they survived until morning, they were forgiven. If not, their fate was sealed. But sometime in the last century, the ritual was rebranded as a dare. A game. The instructions spread online. And ever since, there have been disturbing reports of participants who never came back. Case evidence, the ritual. The rules of the Midnight Man ritual are always the same. 1. Write your name on a piece of paper. 2. Prick your finger and drop blood onto the paper. 3. Place the paper at your front door. 4. At midnight exactly, light a candle, knock 3 times, open the door, and invite the Midnight Man inside. 5. From that moment until 3:33 a.m., survive. Keep the candle lit. Keep moving. And most importantly, never let the Midnight Man catch you. Those who have attempted it describe sudden drafts of cold air, whispers in the dark, and a sense of being watched. Survivors say the entity comes closer each time your candle goes out. But not everyone survives. Case study number 1, Adrian, missing person. In 2013, Adrian, a 22-year-old college student from Ohio, live-streamed himself attempting the ritual. At first, his tone was mocking. He called it the dumbest internet challenge I've ever tried. But as the hours passed, his demeanor changed. Viewers noticed his voice shake. He claimed something was whispering his name, that his candle blew out repeatedly, and that he saw a shadow moving across his ceiling. At 3:28 a.m., Adrian's livestream cut out. The next morning, police entered his apartment. His candle was found melted on the floor. The slip of paper with his name on it was torn into dozens of tiny pieces. But Adrian himself? Gone. No signs of forced entry. No trace of struggle. His case remains open to this day. Theories. Paranormal explanation. Followers of the ritual believe Adrian broke the rules, allowing the Midnight Man to take him. Criminal explanation. Investigators consider the possibility of foul play, that someone used the ritual as cover to abduct him. But no evidence of entry or DNA from anyone else was ever found. Hoax. Skeptics argue the ritual is nothing more than creepypasta, and Adrian staged his disappearance. But if that's true, why has he never resurfaced in more than a decade? Suspicious pattern. Adrian is not the only one. Across Reddit forums, online archives, and obscure news reports, there are scattered cases of people who attempted the ritual and were later reported missing. 2017, London, a young woman posted on an occult forum about playing the game. She vanished 2 nights later. 2019, Tokyo, a man live-streamed the ritual on Nico Nico. The stream ended abruptly, and he was never located. 2021, Mexico City, police found an abandoned apartment with candles burned into the floor, paper with bloodstains, and the walls scratched with symbols. The tenant was gone. No suspects. No bodies. No answers. So what exactly is happening here? Are these disappearances connected to a centuries-old pagan ritual? Or is the Midnight Man just a convenient mask for something more human, abduction, foul play, or voluntary vanishing? Whatever the truth is, the line between urban legend and real crime is blurring. And the Midnight Man's list of possible victims keeps growing. Escalation. The London Case, 2017. In February of 2017, Catherine, a 24-year-old graduate student living alone in East London, posted on an occult message board about her plans to test the Midnight Man ritual. Unlike many who attempt it for thrill or spectacle, Catherine treated it like a field study. In her first post, she wrote, "If this ritual has survived centuries, there must be some kernel of truth. I'll document every step, every sound, every sensation." Her post included a list of supplies, paper, blood, candle, salt, and a timeline of her intended start. That night, she began. Last known communication. Her online log continued up until 2:56 a.m. Her final entry simply read, "The candle keeps going out. He's close." Minutes later, her account went silent. At 10:45 a.m. the next morning, Catherine's colleagues reported her missing after she failed to show for class. Evidence at the scene. When police entered her flat, the details were chilling. A single blackened candle sat on the floor, melted into the carpet. A sheet of paper with her full name was recovered, marked with a dried blood droplet. Matches were scattered near her bed. Her front door was locked from the inside. Windows latched. No signs of forced entry. But most unsettling was her phone. It had been recording audio long after her disappearance. Audio recording. Experts reviewed over 30 minutes of the file. Here's a transcript excerpt, time-stamped at 3:02 a.m. Static. Footsteps moving quickly across the floor. Catherine, whispering, "Stay lit, please stay lit." Match strikes. Candle flickers. Knocking sound. Not at the door, closer, on the walls. Catherine, "No, no, no." Long pause. Then a deep, dragging inhale, close to the microphone. Catherine, shaking voice, "He's here." The file ends abruptly. Catherine was never located. Eyewitness testimony. Neighbors later told investigators they heard scratching on the walls of Catherine's flat between 2:30 and 3 a.m. One reported hearing what sounded like furniture being dragged across the floor. But when police searched the apartment, nothing was moved. Everything was exactly in place. Forensic notes. No fingerprints other than Catherine's were found. No DNA from another individual present. No signs of a struggle. No indication of exit. It was as though she vanished into thin air. Police response. The Metropolitan Police classified Catherine's case as a missing person investigation. They could not confirm any connection to the Midnight Man ritual, calling it online folklore. Privately, one officer admitted, "It didn't feel like any missing persons case I've worked. There was something wrong in that room. The air felt heavy." Suspicious pattern. By now, investigators had two linked disappearances. 2013, Ohio, USA, Adrian, live stream vanished at 3:28 a.m. 2017, London, UK, Catherine, audio ends after whispers, never seen again. Both followed the exact same ritual. Both vanished between midnight and 3:33 a.m. Both cases left behind candles, blood-marked paper, and locked rooms. Theories began to surface. Theories. 1. Paranormal explanation. Catherine, like Adrian, was taken by the Midnight Man after failing to protect her candle. 2. Criminal explanation. Someone may have monitored her forum posts, entered her flat during the ritual, and abducted her. But the locked from inside detail challenges this. 3. Psychological breakdown. Under the pressure of the ritual, Catherine may have fled her flat and disappeared voluntarily. But no CCTV footage of her leaving the building has ever been found. Two disappearances, thousands of miles apart. Both linked to the same ritual. Both sealed behind locked doors with no intruder, no escape route, no explanation. If the Midnight Man ritual is nothing but a myth, then where did Catherine go? And why do the details of her case mirror Adrian's so closely? The investigation and the fear only deepened. Global spread. Case file #0117C. Case study number 3, Tokyo livestream, 2019. In October 2019, a 29-year-old office worker from Tokyo, known online only as Kaido, attempted the Midnight Man ritual live on Nico Nico, a Japanese video-sharing platform. The broadcast began with laughter. Kaido sat in his small apartment, supplies neatly arranged, paper, blood, matches, and a single white candle. Thousands of viewers tuned in, posting comments in real time. At first, the stream followed the pattern seen in other cases. His candle flickered. He claimed he felt cold spots around the room. At 2:15 a.m., he said in Japanese, "I think someone's inside. I can hear breathing." Viewers later confirmed they also heard it through the stream, a faint inhale, separate from his own. The disappearance. At 3:09 a.m., the camera shook violently. The flame went out. Kaido rushed to relight it, muttering under his breath. But then, he froze. His eyes widened. And he whispered, "He's standing behind me." The stream cut to static. Police arrived later that morning. The apartment door was locked. All windows bolted shut. Inside, investigators found the melted candle, matches, and the paper with his name. Kaido was gone. Frame-by-frame analysis. Forensic analysts examined the footage frame by frame. At 3 hours 8 minutes and 57 seconds, less than 2 seconds before the cut, a shadow appears behind Kaido. It is tall, impossibly thin, and humanoid in shape. Skeptics argue it was a glitch or tampered footage. But digital experts confirmed no evidence of manipulation. Case study number 4, Mexico City apartment, 2021. 2 years later, in June 2021, residents of a Mexico City apartment building reported a foul odor seeping from one unit. Police forced entry, expecting to find a body. Instead, they found a scene disturbingly similar to the previous cases. A circle of half-melted candles burned into the wooden floor. A slip of paper with a name scrawled in blood. Salt scattered erratically across the apartment. Deep tally marks carved into the plaster walls, as if someone was counting minutes or seconds. But there was no body. The tenant, a 31-year-old man named Alejandro, had vanished. Neighbors reported hearing loud knocks and what sounded like furniture being dragged during the early hours of the morning. By daylight, the noise stopped. Alejandro was never seen again. Police statements. While the official report listed Alejandro as a missing person, several officers privately admitted the apartment felt wrong. One described the room as suffocating, as though the air itself was pressing in on them. Others refused to enter altogether. Growing pattern. By this point, investigators and independent researchers had identified a disturbing global pattern. 2013, Ohio, USA, Adrian, live stream disappearance. 2017, London, UK, Catherine, audio evidence, locked room mystery. 2019, Tokyo, Japan, Kaido, live stream cut with shadow on footage. 2021, Mexico City, Mexico, Alejandro, ritual remains, tally marks carved into walls. Every case shared. Candle plus blood marked paper. Activity between midnight and 3:33 a.m. Locked rooms, no forced entry, no escape. Disappearance with no trace. Theories. 1. Paranormal entity, the Midnight Man is real, summoned across continents. The identical ritual details are too consistent to ignore. 2. Cult activity, a human group using the ritual as a front for abductions. But why leave the scene sealed from the inside? 3. Psychological mass effect, participants may panic, flee, or even harm themselves in ways that remain undiscovered. Yet bodies are never found. 4. Digital hoax, live streams and recordings are staged. But this fails to explain the official missing person records tied to each case. By 2021, the Midnight Man had gone global. From Ohio to London, Tokyo to Mexico City, the same pattern, the same ritual, the same vanishing act. And every time, the trail went cold. No suspects. No remains. No answers. whatever was happening wasn't just a local legend anymore. It was spreading. And investigators feared they were no longer chasing a myth, but tracking a predator. Case study number 4, Mexico City apartment, 2021. 2 years later, June 2021. Residents of a Mexico City apartment complex reported strange noises from one unit, dragging sounds, scratching, and muffled banging between 2 o'clock and 3 a.m. By dawn, silence. But by afternoon, a rotting odor seeped into the hallway. Police forced entry, expecting decomposition. Instead, they found an apartment that looked like the aftermath of a ritual. Candles half melted into the wooden floor. A slip of paper with the tenant's full name, marked in dried blood. Salt scattered unevenly across the room. Dozens of tally marks carved into the plaster walls, as though the tenant was counting the minutes. The man, identified as Alejandro, 31, was missing. No signs of forced entry. No body ever recovered. Police statements. The official report listed him as a standard missing person. But off record, officers admitted unease. One said the room felt suffocating. Another refused to stay inside more than a few minutes. One investigator described it simply as, "It felt like someone was still there, watching." Pattern confirmation. By now, researchers noticed undeniable consistencies. Ritual begins at midnight. Candle, blood-marked paper, matches always present. Disappearances occur between 12 to 3:33 a.m. Scenes left locked from the inside. No bodies, no suspects, no signs of exit. The locations, Ohio, London, Tokyo, Mexico City, span thousands of miles. Yet the ritual markers were identical. Theories. 1. Paranormal entity, the Midnight Man exists, summoned across cultures by the same ritual. The locked room cases support this theory. 2. Cult involvement, a secretive group could be staging abductions under the guise of a ritual. But why leave identical scenes and no entry evidence? 3. Psychological collapse, victims, overwhelmed by fear, fled or harmed themselves in ways still undiscovered. But that fails to explain the locked doors and total absence of remains. 4. Digital hoax, skeptics argue these are staged internet events. Yet local police files confirm the missing persons. The individuals never resurfaced. By 2021, the Midnight Man had gone global. From Ohio to London, Tokyo to Mexico City. Different victims. Different cultures. Same chilling aftermath. And every case ended the same way, doors locked, candles extinguished, names written in blood, and people who were simply gone. The question now wasn't whether the ritual spread. It was how far it would go. And who would be next? Origins and the unanswered. The origins. To understand the Midnight Man, investigators began digging into pagan texts and historical records. The ritual is believed to trace back to pre-Christian Europe, where it served as a form of punishment for those who defied the gods or violated sacred vows. The ritual required the accused to summon a shadow figure who would torment them until dawn. Few ever survived. Those who did were believed to be marked for life, living in fear, plagued by visions, unable to escape the shadow's presence. Historians point to a text uncovered in the early 1900s, written in fractured Latin. It describes a midnight ceremony where the accused writes their name in blood, knocks on a door 22 times, invites in the shadow of judgment. The text warns, "He comes not to forgive, but to hunt. Endure until the sun rises, and you may keep your life. Fail, and he keeps your soul." This was punishment, not play. But somewhere along the line, centuries later, the ritual resurfaced as a game. A dare. A viral challenge. And once the internet picked it up, it was only a matter of time before the missing person cases began. The psychological trap. Skeptics argue the Midnight Man isn't real. They suggest victims were psychologically primed for fear. Sitting alone in a dark room, imagining footsteps, whispers, or shadows. fueling their paranoia until panic drove them into irrational actions, possibly even fleeing into the night, never to be found. But this explanation breaks down in two crucial ways. 1. The locked rooms. In Adrian's case, in Kaito's live stream, in Alejandro's Mexico City apartment, entryways were locked from the inside. No signs of escape. 2. The consistency. From Ohio to London to Tokyo, every case left behind the same ritual evidence. This wasn't mass hysteria. It was patterned, precise, repeatable. Adrian's final hours. Investigators revisited Adrian's case with this knowledge. His last text message, sent to a close friend at 2:42 a.m., read, "If I don't make it, he's real." The timestamp matters. The ritual is said to end at 3:33 a.m. He vanished less than an hour before sunrise. Neighbors reported hearing faint scratching on the walls of his apartment around that time. One even swore they saw a flicker of light in his window, like a candle, briefly burning, then snuffed out. But by morning, Adrian was gone. And he was never seen again. The missing person web. Adrian wasn't alone. When his file was compared to the others, chilling overlaps emerged. Ohio, 2008, 17-year-old girl vanishes after telling friends she was trying the ritual. Police find melted wax, blood-smeared note, locked doors. London, 2012, university student disappears, CCTV shows him buying candles, salt, and matches hours earlier. Tokyo, 2019, Kaito live streams the ritual, disappears on camera. Mexico City, 2021, Alejandro vanishes in an apartment filled with ritual remnants. Different names. Different years. Different cities. Same ending, gone without a trace. The unanswered questions. As case files piled up, investigators, historians, and skeptics all circled the same haunting questions. How do people vanish from locked rooms? Why are the ritual elements always identical? Who, or what, is the Midnight Man? And most importantly, if this is a game, why does it end in death or disappearance? Some suggest the ritual may be a form of summoning, inviting an entity into this world that can manipulate physical space. Others believe it is a psychological virus, a dangerous idea that infects those who believe in it, driving them toward destruction. But the evidence refuses to fit neatly into any single explanation. Law enforcement response. Police departments rarely acknowledge these connections officially. In every country, missing person files remain open but inactive, no suspects, no evidence, no bodies. In fact, several investigators have admitted off record that they avoid looking too closely at these cases. One officer in Ohio said, "The more I looked, the more I felt like something was looking back." Some law enforcement agencies have even sealed details of the investigations, citing public safety concerns. Theories suggest they may be covering up what they can't explain, or quietly acknowledging that the ritual has consequences they cannot control. Paranormal versus crime. The Midnight Man sits at a disturbing crossroads. To skeptics, it's an internet-fueled myth. To families, it's a string of devastating unsolved crimes. To believers, it's proof of an ancient curse still alive today. And in every version, the victims are real. The families are real. The pain is real. Whether by paranormal force, cult involvement, or human malice hidden under ritual, the outcome is the same: people vanish. The last warning. Researchers who study the ritual leave a chilling piece of advice. If you ever hear someone knock 22 times on your door past midnight, don't open it. Don't even move. Because once the Midnight Man is inside, he never leaves. Final case note. Adrian's case remains unsolved. So do the dozens of others. No arrests. No suspects. No remains. Just candle wax. Salt. Blood-stained slips of paper. And silence. And that's where I'll leave you with this story. But here's the part that makes it hit harder. These aren't just urban legends. These are real people, documented as missing. Police files exist. Families are still waiting. And no one can explain how they disappeared. So what do you think? Is the Midnight Man just a dangerous game, a self-fulfilling prophecy of fear? Or is there something darker, something ancient, that we've been inviting into our world without even realizing it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more stories of mysteries that blur the line between true crime and the paranormal, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because I'll be back with another case that will leave you questioning what's real and what isn't. Until then, stay curious. Stay cautious. And if you ever hear a knock in the middle of the night, don't answer it.